Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with more Gran Turismo. This time around we're here with round 3 of the Manufacturers Series. Yes, I wasn't actually planning on doing this race originally. I was meant to be doing the Bathurst 12 hours this weekend. To cut a long story short, it didn't quite go as I wanted, but that being said, at least it wasn't me that crashed in that one. So I've jumped in today, and I'm not sure this is a wise idea. Gran Turismo 7, the final race of this Manufacturers Exhibition Series, but from what I've gathered, we're on a wet track that is drying out. 17 laps ahead of us around Fuji today, so things are going to be quite interesting. We've done one race like this before on GT7, that was back at Spa-Francorchamps. It didn't go particularly well, so we'll wait and see what happens in this one. I feel like at the moment I'm completely missing something from this combination. I'm so slow in comparison to everyone else, and I cannot work out for the life of me why. Feels like we're in a completely different car to a lot of people there. We've gone up to P12 at the moment. Still 2.6 seconds off the pace though. I just cannot get close to anyone. Wonder if I'm just running a bit wide through that final corner, but this should hopefully be an improvement. I'm still going to be nowhere near where I'd hope to be in these sorts of races. I know we're going up against stiffer competition now, of course, up in A licence, but yeah, I'm just so far away from any of those top times. I just don't understand how to get a lot closer there as we do improve. It's only good enough for P12 though at the end of that session. We are a long way away. Clearly the Porsche 911 is the car to have this time around there, but I mean there's a Nissan still only 1.5 seconds away there, so about 1.4 clear of myself. Whether it's just not a good combo for the Nissans, they do seem to be shifting down the order slightly, but I guess there's not a lot else we can do. We've kind of just got to get on with it and pray that we can keep it clean and tidy in the race. 2.8 seconds. I haven't been that far off on GT7 in a long old time, unless something specific's gone wrong. Right, let's do this thing then. 17 laps ahead of us around Fuji. It's effectively a 25% Formula 1 race distance, but starting on those intermediates... Ooh, excuse me, are we going to see a switch to the dries at some point during this race there? P12 on the grid. I think we need 7th or higher for this race to be worthwhile and us gain points over the interesting races we had from, what was it, St. Croix, or however you pronounce it, here on GT7. But yeah, let's see what we can do with that. I don't even know if there's going to be a switch over onto dry tyres at some point in this race, but 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go there as... I just knew immediately he was going to fling over and take me out. Thanks for that. He's definitely started on the dries, and he's going to go backwards, and I've been completely destroyed. And we haven't even crossed the start line yet. Right, yellow flag's out as well, down at turn 2, so clearly there is a lot more issues going on for other cars. I wonder if there are a few people that have accidentally started on the dries. Definitely not a wise call there, as you can see. I think that's an Aston Martin out off the circuit as well, so luckily it hasn't taken us long before we've got a sense of civilization. But what? Why? I don't get why people will have done this. I haven't done this race so far today, and I know it's meant to be intermediates, but apparently everyone else doesn't. If this guy takes me out again, it's going to be serious problems. But I mean, look how far back we are, but we should be able to easily get to the inside. But yeah, not a fan of that, but we're back up then to P13. We should make it to P12 very soon, but I could have been inside the top 10 on lap 1. So though we've got a long old race ahead of us, there will be a switch over to the dries, I think, at some point. I thought there used to be a little weather monitor on Gran Turismo to tell you how much rain was on the circuit, but apparently no. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I've just found it again. So I don't quite know how low that's got to be before dries are the way to go, but we'll probably just box when other cars do. Seems like the Frenchman ahead of me is actually pretty competent in their car. They definitely weren't starting on the intermediate tyres. This guy behind is starting to lose a little bit less. Say that as soon as he loses another second through that final turn. But yeah, I mean, we're kind of still in a lot of no man's land early on. Whether we'll actually find other cars today is a big old question. This could end up being quite a short video. Ooh. Car trying to get a little bit loose and lively out the final turn. It felt like a pretty decent lap up to that point, but somebody already into the pit lane then. That seems very, very early to be making a call there. I mean, that lap, despite the mistakes, well, I mean, he's still 2 seconds off the pace. Still losing plenty of time to the Frenchman as well. But yeah, that guy, I don't know if he's come back out on inters or hards, sorry. But trying to go to the end then. So he's going to be interesting to see, sort of monitor that gap. Sort of see when, if there's ever going to be an advantage. It's pretty even at the moment as we head through the final couple of turns. We're not pulling away from this guy, but he's also not closing in particularly rapidly either. A couple of other cars now starting to make the call. Is it worth just gambling early on still here? I mean, like I said, it's not really closing in, but we're not really pulling away either. So he gets a nice run at the final corner. Yeah, the cars are gambling. I think we've got to dive it in. The end of lap 4 is early, but we've got to try and do something to bring ourselves closer to the rest of the pack. So we get into the pit lane then. Hard tyres will go. Don't need fuel in this one either today, but yeah, I mean, such a frustrating start to this race. So, I mean, surely the South African and the German behind have lost out by starting, obviously, on those hard compound tyres. But, you know, we don't give up in these sorts of races. You never know what might happen. Had a pretty bad start to the race last week as well, and managed to recover that one to somewhere fairly acceptable by the end. But the Aston Martin's now in front, and we've got to try and survive on this tyre. I'm hoping, of course, it'll also make this car a bit more competitive late on in the afternoon, as if the rain is definitely still dropping. There are still quite a few cars hanging around, but we are seeing more and more slowly make the switch. We've actually started taking a tiny bit of time out of the leader as well there. It was a long way clear of anyone else. Don't know how they've managed that so early on in this race, but like I said, we've just got to hope that things come back to us later in the afternoon. You know, hopefully this Nissan can start to feel a bit more like itself again. It's often a very, very good car on GT7, but clearly does not suit the rain. None of us able to get within a second and a half of the Porsches. But of course we also know the importance of trying to stay on the dry line on these changeable track conditions. Fuji is nowhere near as bad as Spa for it, but it is still noticeable. We are just losing all our time in the final sector, and I honestly don't know how we're losing as much time as we are. I don't know if I've accidentally got a horrendous setup on this car or what, but every time through that final sector we're losing well over a second to basically everyone. Wets or dries. I don't know how. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nick the curb was clearly not the right thing to do. We go for a nice pirouette. That's going to push us even further back. Where am I losing? So I've never had this on Gran Turismo 7 where I'm so slow through a part of the track, and I cannot work out for the life of me where we're losing it through here as we head down. Let's just monitor that delta then as we wind our way through. Fairly clean and tidy there. Through the hairpin, ever so slightly wise. 0.3, a half a second just gone like that. Are we taking too much curb? Are we just doing something else wrong through there as we wind our way up through? That corner's alright. Penultimate corner, again losing. That was okay, we got a nice bit of time back on the exit. Final turn. Just doing something silly through here, winding it through. Yeah, we're losing most of the time through the chicane. Clearly the Nissan doesn't like a quick change of direction. But we're still losing a good couple of tenths through those final couple of turns as well. There's a big gaggle of cars at the road. But yeah, we just got to find something else. As the track has now dried up, I'll give it credit. The clouds do look incredible on Gran Turismo 7. You can just see that ominous cloud has shifted away from the Fuji Speedway even, I should say there. But that time around we have taken a second at the South African in front. Now the track's dried up, starting to get back to that pace that I kind of expect from myself on this game. You know, I don't feel like I feel like A license is the right place for me currently, but I don't feel like I should be a lot slower than everyone else. I would love to get to A+ at some point, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But yeah, now we've got to just keep pushing on, keep doing what we're doing, and see if we can recover a bit more in the second half. Someone else into the... No? Someone into the pits? I don't know. Flashed up for a second. I think they've just got back out of the pit lane. But yeah, I mean, now we're setting fairly consistent lap times. They're not brilliant, but they are certainly closing in. Yeah, that big gaggle of cars up in front. That's my target by the end of this. Just takes one moment in this car, and it just completely wrecks your confidence, and then Gran Turismo's going to do all this, isn't it? Where we just spend 2 minutes pirouetting around. So strange the way the cars just snap round on you on this game, and we were doing so well there. Try and take some time out the cars in front, but that might now complete. I mean, yeah, that's probably put this completely to bed. Any hope we had there. I mean, we were going 1.3, 1.5 seconds quicker than the cars in front of me, but surely we won't clutch 20 seconds in 6 laps. Or 3 laps to go then in this race. We're certainly not going to get anything more out of it. And now for some reason the pace has started going the wrong way again to those cars in front of us. So yeah, not really too sure what on earth has been going on today. I'd love if any of you guys have been watching could tell me down and just explain, if you know Gran Turismo, explain to me where I'm going so badly wrong here today, or whether it is just a track that really does not suit the Nissan whatsoever there, because I feel like I'm not racing any differently to normal, but we're just losing so much to all those cars around us. I've not had anything like this in a long time, where I felt so uncompetitive on this game, of course, been massively handicapped, of course, by everything else that's gone on. You know, I feel like, had we not been taken out of lap 1, you know, we could have been, I'm sort of looking on the mini-map, fairly close to that big gaggle of cars. There is all someone has been it. That's going to bring us a whole lot closer. I think it's the Italian. He's also in the Nissan, so we might have someone to fight with still towards the checkered flag here, but you know, I don't know where this lack of everything is from today. Oh, we got more cars gone. What on earth is happening late on in the day? Car left abandoned down at the hairpin. We are getting a couple of freebies late on there, as Green Porsche as well, going very slowly back up the hill. He's picked up a 4-second penalty. I think he was waiting for the other guy, but of course now the other guy's rage quit. It's going to hand us P12 in this race. Just 1 lap to go. It's still not going to be a particularly great result, but if we could get P11, it's slightly better than the P14 it was looking like, well, barely a lap ago. So not too sure what on earth is happening, but clearly mistakes coming in for other drivers. I mean, yeah, now we've just kind of got this weird little gaggle of 4 of us that are miles behind everyone else there. It seems like it really has fanned out to quite a lot of different races over the course of today, but closing in though on the Italian for P11. You know, if we get one more big incident, I don't know how they lost that much time from that incident as well, to be completely honest, but yeah, if we can try and just get past this guy, I would be somewhat okay with that. As there we go, both of those guys involved have now rage quit, so the German as well behind us. We've got a couple of freebies come the end of this thing. To be honest, not so happy about that, because he ruined my race at the start, but it is what it is. He's actually taken a fair bit of chunk of time out of me as well late on in the day. Don't ask me how. To be honest, please explain to me how as well, but that's not the line through there. I think we're starting just to... Well, the tyres are looking pretty fine on the graphic, but starting to really struggle on them. In towards the final few corners, though, of this race. Are we going to get closer to potentially get a run at the final turn on this guy? We just need to make sure we're nailing our lines through this final complex. They're really trying to attack that sausage curb. Looks like we need to be clipping the grass through there as we head back up the hill. We just, yeah, seem to lose so much at that corner as well. They're just clearly not getting on the throttle where I need to be. But 2 more corners to go then. I mean, we basically need a mistake out of this guy if we want to try and do anything. We need to get a mega run out of the final corner. Let's wait and see as we try and tip it in. Don't think we're going to be able to do it. He might just hang on there. Gets very close to the AstroTurf on the outside, but we are going to get the slipstream, but I don't think it's going to be good enough there. P12 at the end of the final race of this nation's, manufacturer series there. Not quite what I wanted. I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do in terms of car choice next year. We can see Porsche 1, 2, 3 there. One of the Nissans did recover to P4 in the end, so very good job done by them. Ahead of the AMG, the WRX, another Porsche, another Nissan, 2 V12 Vantages rounding out the top 10 ahead of both Nissans, and the 911 as well, rounding out the final race order there. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure you leave a like, get yourself subscribed. I think there is probably at least one more exhibition series before we kick off with the 2023 season proper. So yeah, make sure you get yourself subscribed for that, and we'll be back very soon with more GT7.